I'm happy to join you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation.
This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who have been seared in the flames of weltering injustice.
It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro is still not free.
I have a dream.
100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the change of discrimination.
100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity.
We have come here today to dramatize a shameful condition.
I have a dream.
It's obvious today that America has defaulted on its promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned.
Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check that has come back marked as insufficient funds.
But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation.
I have a dream.
So we have come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice.
Now is the time to make the real promise of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valleys of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice.
Those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual.
We have a dream. But there is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice.
In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds.
And as we walk, we must make a pledge that we shall march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied?
I have a dream.
We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is a victim of unspeakable horrors of police brutality.
We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one.
You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive.
I have a dream.
Go back to Mississippi, go back to Alabama, go back to South Carolina, go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana, go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed.
My friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream.
I have a dream.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live up the true meaning of its creed.
We hold this truth to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood.
I have a dream.
I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice.
I have a dream that my 4 children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racist, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification.
I have a dream
that one day, right down in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
We have a dream.
I have a dream that one day every valley will be exalted and every hill and mountain shall be made low.
We have a dream.
The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together.
I have a dream.
This is our hope. This is the faith that will go back to the south with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out the mountains of despair and stone of hope.
I have a dream.
With this faith, we'll be able to transform the jangling discord of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
We have a dream.
With this good faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that one day we will be free.
I have a dream.
This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning.
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing.
Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside let freedom ring.
And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true.
Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania.
Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi.
Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California.
Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee.
Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado.
Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York.
Let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire.
From every state and every city, we'll be able to speed up that day when all God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing that old Negro spiritual.
I have a dream.
Yo tengo un sueño. I have a dream.
I have a dream.
I have a dream.
I have a dream. I have a dream.
We have a dream. Yes, on aime bien ensemble.
We have a dream. We have a dream. We have a dream.
We'll be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at